Intro, Miguel, do you want to tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So to give a little bit of intro, I'm Miguel. I'm one of the founders at Pulsar Finance. And for those who don't know, Pulsar Finance is a cross-chain portfolio manager that allows you to track the performance of all your crypto assets. So whether you have tokens, DeFi positions, such as staking, farms, debts, or even NFTs, we're glad we are actually covering all into a single place, so you can manage all of it. And as Rim just said, we're glad to announce that we launched on Near and Aurora just yesterday.
Ooh, well, I also see that Didier's joined us. Didier, do you also want to say
Hey,
hi? Who are you and what do you
hey
do?
guys, how are you? Thank you, Rim. Yeah, I'm DJ. I'm the product manager of Ref.finance, which is the first AMM built on top of Near Protocol.
Hey Didier,
Hey,
nice to
how are
meet you.
you? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, first of all, once again, congratulations, Miguel, on launching Pulsar, and welcome to Near. I want to start off by asking, I wonder what your expectations for coming into the Near community was, and how is it now that you're actually part of the ecosystem, and how are you finding the community so far?
Well, I gotta say, I've been to NearCon and there was a lot of hype. And to be honest, I saw that Near was a growing ecosystem. I've been tracking what was happening for a while. And my first impressions, people have been pretty nice and welcoming, especially protocol founders have been pretty helpful. And all the main characters in the ecosystem, guilds have also been pretty supportive, sharing the message across the different niches and location. But still, I had more expectations in terms of user adoption. I know we are in a bear market and, and no one wants to track their portfolio, but I gotta ask: is there something that you suggest that we do, or in order to reach over to the community or get more people to try our dashboard?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Have you already tried like I guess some of the easiest and more straightforward ways is like incentivized trials, right? If you say, "Hey, try it out, give us feedback," and out of that we'll give like some near to 10 lucky winners. I guess that also always gets a lot of people in. But I would say the way that you've been approaching it, I think makes sense where you ask the protocols to try it out and then ask them to relay it back to their communities. Maybe it's also just a matter of time. You just launched, people got to become familiar and just be aware of the fact that this is a thing on Near now, as opposed to before.
Yeah, true. Also, people don't want to see like their time series going down and down every week, right?
That's true. That's true. Well, let's get into the product side and introduce properly Pulsar to the Near community. How would you describe Pulsar in one line if you had to?
Okay, so Pulsar in one line. I'll adapt to your audiences, but it's simply your Near and Aurora portfolio manager, where you can do anything you want, from seeing your balances to understanding how exposed you are to every single type of asset.
Okay, perfect. So let's get into what a portfolio manager, portfolio tool, or dashboard is and what the significance is. I want to hear from you. What is the role that portfolio dashboards play in one's financial life? And within crypto or Web3, what is the significance of portfolio dashboards or maybe even the lack thereof?
Okay, so for me personally, portfolio dashboards are the single most important tool to manage your financial life. Without them, I feel lost. I don't know my net worth, how exposed I am to a type of asset, if my investments have been performing well or not this past week, and if I compare it with the market or not. In the crypto world, it just gets wilder, right? You can't navigate this space without a good portfolio manager, in my opinion. It's too volatile, too fragmented. There's so many protocols on so many different chains that you kind of lose track of all your assets. For example, I have So when we launched Pulsar in the past, it helped me find on other chains missing airdrops that I didn't know I had. This is crazy, right? Without it, I would probably miss the airdrop claim deadline.
Would you say that I mean, like, when we think of traditional finance and the way that people manage their portfolios in, real, quote unquote, real world finance, this is a very prevalent thing. Obviously, you want to have a kind of bird's eye view overview of all of your assets, how they're performing. Would you say that in crypto or Web3, we haven't really seen enough of this infrastructure, or it's somewhat lacking in comparison to what we have within traditional finance? How do you see the space so far?
Yeah, so that's actually what kind of drive me to build Pulsar Finance. So I'll give a little bit of background to kind of jump into that answer. So we were actually, me and my co-founders, building businesses in Web2, and we were investing in stocks, we were investing in real estate, and to be honest, we started investing in Web3 in 2020, I think. And we invested in a few protocols on all these different chains like Ethereum, BSC, and Terra started to explode last year, right? So we could not find a single portfolio manager that met our needs. So we kind of decided to build one. And I guess that comparing Web2 portfolio managers to Web3, we were kind of disappointing. We were still managing our crypto assets on a spreadsheet. And I think that doesn't make sense. Since we are in the forefront of innovation, we are in the forefront of technology, and I think we're still using spreadsheets or manual inputs that are not updating every second. This didn't make sense to me, and I think the space needs a good solution, which is currently lacking, in my opinion.
Right. And I think that I always laugh at the spreadsheets thing because given that all of the data is on chain, this kind of real time tracking of your portfolio should be more obvious than ever compared to like traditional finance. So the lack thereof, I think, is especially more poignant. You were talking a little bit about the origin story. You saw a lack in the space. You wanted to fill that hole. And I want to hear a little bit more about that and the journey so far. You started originally on Cosmos, right? Could you take us through how you first began on Cosmos, how it developed, and how you kind of ended up on Near?
Yeah, sure. So originally we actually started on Terra, and we quickly moved into Cosmos. We're now aggregating data on over 38 Cosmos chains. And I remember seeing a post from Near that was made welcoming all the developers from Terra after Terra collapsed. And that coupled with a thread that I think I saw on Twitter of bringing IBC to Near, it just seemed like a natural path for us since we were already planning to launch on Cosmos at that point. Besides, Near was growing a lot. I think it was with like 7 or 8 million active wallets cumulative. So, and I saw a lot of people at NearCon. The people were excited with what was happening. A lot of protocols were starting to appear. So yeah, we got Near ready. At least a simple version of it at the time of NearCon, and we wanted to do a public launch with both Near and Aurora since both ecosystems are kind of bundled together. Fast forward 2 months of testing, and here we are.
That's awesome to hear, and I'm also pleasantly surprised to know that that call for welcome Terra builders to Near actually worked. You're being the first case that I see in person.
Yeah, it did.
That's all good and nice about Near, having a lot of potential, seeing a lot of growth in active wallets and whatnot. But I think in terms of bringing Pulsar over and why it's something that was quite necessary for Near is that there are a lot of pain points when it comes to the current experience for wealth or portfolio management on Near right now. So I would say that, and maybe you can give me your take, but I would say that the only way that I look at how much money I have in total is through, for instance, my Near web wallet, and then it shows me all of the assets, but some of the assets don't have a price point to them, so I don't know. I'll have a bunch of tokens, but the total USD value doesn't necessarily reflect the entirety of my assets. And obviously, it's a very limited data point. So I only know at that time how much money I have, but I can't see how much money I have where, if it's staked, how much I have in staking rewards, cumulative, where if I have it in DeFi, if I have it in NFTs, what the value of my NFT stack is. So there's a lot of, I would say, pain points with regards to the current portfolio dashboard experience on Near. Was that also something that you saw and you thought, oh, Pulsar could do something better for Near now that we're coming over?
Yeah, I think you nailed it pretty right. If I wanted to have a bird's eye view, like Ilya said, on my portfolio near an Aurora, I would have to use like manual inputs again on a spreadsheet or like CoinGecko's portfolio manager. But still, I would have to go every day and input the rewards and the price that I claimed them at. And that was painful, right? To be honest, I had the same experience in regards to Near wallets. I had some positions on farming on Ref, Jumbo. Besides, I also have some NFTs to which I still don't know how much they're worth unless I visit Para's marketplace. Now that we launched, all we need to do is open up Ref.finance and everything is there updated every second with the correct price, whether that's tokens, farms, staked assets, or even FTs. We cover it all.
Yeah, I have to say, so I checked out Pulsar Finance and I had the same thing that you pointed out where I had no idea how many NFTs I owned and how much they were worth. And it was amazing that when I went to track my wallet, I saw all of my assets in terms of FTs, NFTs, and I saw that I had like, it wasn't even a lot, but it was like $10,000 worth of NFTs. Don't quote me on this, but and it was like, I'm actually richer than I thought I was. Thanks to my JPEGs.
Yeah, and that's still based on floor price, right? NFTs, if you have more rare ones, it can go even higher. But yeah, we're still working on some features on the NFT side. That's still under wraps, but you'll know more updates soon.
Okay, cool. Speaking of the products and features, let's get into them. Could you give us a high-level overview of the products that you offer and some of the key features? Like, I want to hear which data points are you providing? What's the user experience like? What are some of the major features that you're offering at the moment for Near and Aurora users?
Yeah, so the main thesis is easy, right? Get an overall view of all your balances, as I've mentioned. And right now, we try to improve the UX of all the portfolio management tasks. So we have different categories for assets. We try to make it really simple, such as wallet tokens, staking, pools, farms, debts, and limit orders. On top of this, you also have NFTs. So we have pretty standard categories so that users don't feel lost while seeing their portfolio, since there's a lot of different namings on each ecosystem. Then we also have a way for you to bundle multiple wallets. So if you're a new user, you can see the balances of your single wallet on Near or Aurora. But if you're an advanced user and you have more wallets, then you can bundle them all together to make one portfolio. And we made it really easy for you to understand the overall exposure to a single token across all your different portfolios. But it's also enough complex so that a hedge fund manager can also track different kinds of portfolios. Or if you're a DGen, you can make your DGen portfolio and you can make your HODL portfolio with all these different wallets and on all these different chains. So it's pretty flexible, but really easy for a new user to onboard. On top of that, we have portfolio performance over time. So since the first day you join on our dashboard, you'll see how your portfolio has behaved and your profit loss over time. The sooner you join, the more data you'll have. So you better join now, to be honest. but yeah, this is really simple. We surely have a lot of plans for the future. We have already a mobile friendly experience. And yeah, to be honest, that's it. It's a pretty straightforward product.
Yeah, I like that you focused on the flexibility. So that's it's not just for the regular, normie users that I would fall under potentially. It's also for someone like a hedge fund manager who has to track a bunch of wallets and have to have real-time tracking. So you can have, it's really for everyone, as you're saying. Didier, did you want to jump in here?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. No, I was just wondering because I think it's a very important point for portfolio management. So on Pulsar, you can create I guess an organizational map with different addresses, and then have the aggregated view for those addresses. Correct?
Yeah, you can create as many portfolios as you want.
That's great, because I think as I don't know, maybe like an investment manager, and even if you want to share this aggregated view, I guess you can also make some silos, right? With one address dedicated to airdrop, for example, another address dedicated to operations, which will be designed only to transfer funds, for example, and so on. So I think it's a great I think it's a great use case for investment managers, correct?
Yeah, that was our focus. So we wanted to make this as easy as it can possibly be for a normie, but also as complex as it can possibly get for a hedge fund. That's the trade-off right there.
Okay, fantastic. And then why I mean, how would you say, because Ape board was one of the first multi-chain DeFi dashboards, correct? And I think that they got acquired by Nansen. Am I right? I'm just wondering what your I'm just wondering what your and sorry, Rim, if I'm too curious on this one, but what's your
No, I love it.
what's your strategy for 2023? How in what direction you would like to expand?
So our roadmap right now is in the next 6 months. The main goal is to introduce more chains, right? We have Ethereum, other EVMs. There's a lot of users who have holdings on these chains that can be addressed by our current solution. We are working super hard to launch it within the next 6 months and become the dashboard with the most coverage for any user on DeFi. Not only for tokens, DeFi and NFTs on every one of these chains. As for later on, we're definitely planning to allow users to trade assets directly inside our dashboard. So, for example, when a user has rewards to claim, he doesn't need to go to the protocol itself. We not only integrate the reading of the data side, but we also integrate the execution side inside Pulsar. So it becomes like a one-stop shop in terms of convenience, and you can do everything from that one single place.
Fantastic. And I guess one of the pain points is the data stack, correct? Because are you doing like RPC calls on all those chains to have like a state at this moment of what the wallet holds, for example, or are you also running archival nodes for every single chain? I guess the data point should be very not complex, but quite heavy, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it depends a lot on the chain. Every single chain has a different architecture and different kind of needs, depending on the usage as well. But you're right, it's quite heavy for some of the chains, more simple for the less used chains, but still it's a case-by-case basis. And that's the most complex part of our product. And I think the backend is quite delicate. Let's put it this way: the product is so simple in the front end that people don't even understand the complexity of its backend.
Thanks.
I'm super excited about the in-app interaction with other platforms that you mentioned. So potentially, I'm imagining something like I look at my portfolio on Pulsar, I see that I have all of these unclaimed rewards on Ref. And without having to go to Ref on a separate tab, I could potentially, from Pulsar, claim my rewards from my LP pools, and then see that being added to my overall wealth. Would that be correct? That's something that would be possible in the future?
Yeah, that's our goal. The convenience is our number one priority, right? And if you're already seeing your assets and you're already understanding that you want to trade something, so why not do it from the same spot? That's the goal, right? For the users not to be broken or fragmented across DeFi. They can do everything from Pulsar Finance. That's our vision, at least.
All right, that sounds amazing. And I was wondering, right now we can see a bundle view of, let's say, all of my near wallets. Is it also possible, because I haven't tried it out yet, to see my portfolio across Near and Aurora and potentially across other chains as well if I have a wallet on Cosmos, wallet on Ethereum?
Yeah, so the same flexibility you have now with your near addresses, you can do the same exact behavior across all 40 chains that we accommodate. So if you want to create a portfolio for Cosmos, you can do, if you want to mix or bundle together Cosmos addresses with near and Aurora addresses, you have that flexibility too. So that's the amount of effort that we already delegated to our team, and we put in a simple UI for, like I said, hedge fund managers to build multi-chain portfolios, or simple users to build their multi-chain bundle view. Let's call it that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's actually super sexy. Didier, go ahead.
Yeah, cheers, Rim. I was just wondering because we keep hearing about decentralized identity for 2023 as a big topic. I was and like soul bound token, for example. Are you considering to have like soul bound token on Pulsar, which means that's based on the activity of the address, then they have like some flags, for example, or I mean some tags, right? You have, the DeFi expert, tag, for example, and is this something you are looking at or not at all?
Yeah, Web3 identity was one of the main things that called us as soon as we started to deliver this. So it's as soon as we started to build this, it's quite interesting, the concept of having a user with multi addresses across different chains, right? So you can start building a more report on what this user is and his behavior. And in the long term, it makes sense that on-chain identity becomes important. Users shouldn't be able, I mean, users should always be able to create new addresses, but their current address should have value, right? So that if they want to ask for a loan, this loan should have their data or prior data as a metric for different rates. For example, if you're a user who are getting airdrops every single time and hodling those same airdrops, maybe protocols should try to airdrop to you because they know from prior data that you won't sell as soon as you get them, for example. There's a lot of interesting ideas around Web3 identity, but I mean, I still think we are scratching the surface. There's a lot of multi-chain activity going. A lot of chains are just starting out, but I feel that once every chain gets mature and users are more attached to their own addresses, I think that will be a really explosive field to be in.
So we touched a little bit about your roadmap for 2023. You mentioned more integration, more chains, and it really seems to go hand in hand with the vision of Pulsar. There I would say, kind of become the default all-in-one, one-stop shop portfolio management tool for the multi-chain world. What else is on the roadmap? Because it seems like as a dashboard tool, you can also touch upon something like soulbound tokens or decentralized identity. Are there other stuffs that we can look out for in terms of where Pulsar's headed in the future?
Yeah, so we are pretty flexible in terms of roadmap. We are super focused on the product right now, right? Getting the coverage part is already a huge task. But as soon as we unlock that part, we'll definitely look at the different possibilities. We have also products like multi-chain aggregators that are also approaching us, because once you have a user on this platform and is doing everything from there, you get a lot of attraction, right? And if a user doesn't need to go anywhere, and I believe in a future where, for example, Ref.finance doesn't need to be innovating their front end. They can just focus on all the resources on building new smart contracts and having the tech itself more scalable, and then use aggregators like us can have the near community engage with Ref smart contracts directly from within our dashboard. I believe the future, not like 2 years, but like 5 to 10 years, protocols themselves won't have to focus a lot of resources on their front end because there will be aggregators that, similar to what App Store did with APKs, right? I believe in a similar vision at that point.
Yeah, which makes, I think, a perfect bridge, Rim, tell me if I'm wrong, with the Ref referral program.
You read my mind. So if you want to go ahead, go ahead.
No, and I think I totally agree with Miguel. I think Web3 from a project perspective is very difficult because you need to manage like two different types of project methodology, right? First is smart contract development, which is very waterfall oriented, and then you have front-end development, which is way more like agile, right? And managing both is like very difficult. So I guess if we have like in the future a clear segregation and some teams can focus on the smart contract side and all the teams can, take over and develop different user experiences, I think that could be like a great stuff. And just for, the referral program for Ref, because I think it's exactly this idea, right? The fact that we have, different smart contracts and we want to encourage the ecosystem and the community to build on top of us. And a way to encourage this activity is to have like referral fees, right? So basically the ability for those developers to take a commission on every swap that is executed on Ref, right? And so Ref used to have embedded since the beginning like a referral fee, but this referral fee was imperfect for two reasons. The first one is that this referral fee was capped at like 4%. And the second reason is that this referral fee had like a way for developers to do like something circular, where actually if I want to swap, then I can claim the referral fee whatsoever, which means that basically people can use the referral fee even if they are not building on top of Ref, which was
arbitrageurs, right?
Yeah, exactly, which is weird and which is not the intended goal of the referral fee. So we've just adjusted that, and we have like a contract upgrade that is coming in a few days. And this contract upgrade brings like a new referral fee program, where basically any referral can claim up to 20% of the total pool fee. And we can have different tiers depending on, the success of those partners, for example. So we have the flexibility to adjust the referral fees depending on how well is performing the project, right? So we have this dynamic adjustment, which I think is great. The downside, however, is that this referral fee needs to be this referral needs to apply to be in a whitelist. Correct, but this should be pretty straightforward. So I guess if Pulsar wants to, talk about our new referral fee program, I mean, it would be like it would be great for us to add you in this program, and then make sure that you have a strong incentive for every users that are swapping with Ref.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Can I just ask why I decided to build it now? So is it within that same vision that I was sharing, that protocols should try to focus more on the tech themselves and the smart contract side, and then aggregators should try to focus on the user experience side, attracting more users, and then they are still earning by integrating Graph, and you guys scale horizontally, let's call it that?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I think that it doesn't prevent us from developing like our interface. But I think that if you want to leverage innovations, then having like an entry door to those potential innovation streams, I think is a great idea, right? So the referral fee can encourage those developers to maybe envision like a different approach to what is delivered today on the market, right? So why, for example, do we see like this swap container with token in, token out, and we see the same on every platform? Well, that means that is working, right? But maybe we can, like, maybe developers have another idea of how could that be, designed, for example. And I just think that leaving this opportunity out there makes like easier for this innovation to come.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. We can definitely have a discussion after this call. I think it makes a lot of sense. In the future, we'll definitely aggregate a lot of different swap mechanisms and different smart contracts. Even if people want to just get out of the staking position, or even if they want to claim their farm rewards on Ref, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to do from within the Pulsar Finance dashboard. Even though they can go to Ref anyway, it would just make sense for them to do in the same spot where they're managing their assets.
Exactly. And I think just to add like something on that, I think a good thing about having a segregation between like smart contract development and front-end development is that you can also share the cost, right? And we know that, smart contract development is very capital demanding because you need audits and stuff. And because of the immutability of those contracts, right? But in the same time, front-end development, they also, need resources. So I think that encouraging this kind of two-tier solution with like one team focused on the back end and one team focused on the front end can also rationalize the costs across the board.
Yeah, it makes sense, to be honest. I think you're going in the right direction. I've been seeing this trend in the space for the past, maybe 6 months to 1 year, where a lot of different protocols are sharing revenue with the aggregators. And I think that will make a lot of sense for us, because also reduces our friction costs to go and time to go to the market, right? So it's much easier for us. It's like a plug and play, and we can already start earning revenue and giving you guys a way and users a way to trade easily.
Yes, bring
Brilliant.
users.
I love
More
that.
users.
I love that this is the most permissionless space I've ever run, because you guys are asking all the questions I wanted to ask. It's like, I don't even need to be here.
Sorry, Wim.
No. I was saying that's a great thing. I love this flow of the conversation. So, Didier, just to recap real quick, you're saying that this ref referral program, because from the surface level, you could definitely think, oh, when crypto influencers refer people to Ref.finance, they get a cut of the sale. That's not the idea at work here. It's more for developers and other teams that are utilizing Ref and then building, for instance, an aggregator and creating more user flow through that way to give them a commission essentially, which can go up to 10% of the pool fee that Ref takes from swaps. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. And this ties in very nicely to something like Pulsar, because they're looking to create a multi-chain aggregator, something that would include Ref and then share the revenue. So that's pretty interesting. And you mentioned that this is going to be a whitelisted process. Could you elaborate a little bit more about who is eligible and how someone, let's say, wants to build an aggregator or a swap in their protocol using Ref could get in touch and potentially be considered for a whitelist?
Yeah, so it's the process is like very simple. It's not. I wouldn't call it permissionless, because you need to apply to be in this like referral list, right? But it's very inclusive. Like we don't care, about we don't care about who you are. I mean, that's not the point. We just care about the solution that you are developing on top of Ref. And if you develop like an interface, and if people use your interface and then you are calling the Ref contract to execute those swaps, then you can claim the referral fee. And the great thing about the new setup of the referral fee is that we can adjust this referral fee depending on how well you perform. So let's say we start with like 10%. We start with 10%, and then your aggregator is becoming like very famous, right? Then we can actually increase this referral fee. So we have this adjustment that we can do at any time. And I think that's a great improvement, right? Because the old referral fee was like just set to 4%, and that was the maximum you can get and the minimum you can get. So there's no adjustment you can do. And yeah, so I'm very excited about it because it's also going towards our like strategy for 2023, which is to build an ecosystem around us. So we really want to encourage those projects to be part of the referral fee. Once again, the process is if you think that if you are building a solution on top of us, and if you think that you can claim this referral fee, you just need to do a post on our governance forum, and then the DAO. Then we can have with the team like a conversation about what would make sense in terms of like referral fee, and then the DAO will approve the referral fee for you, and then you are all set up. So it's like extremely inclusive. We don't care about who you are, your religion, your color of skin. That's not the point, obviously. It's almost like fully decentralized, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Didier. Can I maybe try? Can I try to? So my question is it only for swaps? Or, for example, would it be possible for you guys in the medium term to add, for example, when people stake, unstake, claim rewards, all those activities they can do in Ref.finance, if we could also have a referral program for every type of smart contract interaction that they could do from within Pulsar or any other aggregator. You understand my question?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, you can all. As a developer, you can call like any action on Ref. So like add and remove liquidity, stake LP tokens, stake Ref in the XREF contract, for example. But the referral fee, at the moment only works for like swap, because swap is the only revenue stream for Ref. So that means that it's very easy for us to design directly in the smart contract a way for you to get like a cut of this swap commission, right? If we want to like reward third-party projects, for example, when they bring users to add and remove liquidity, we would need to think about like a specific setup, right? Because those actions are not generating any revenue for Ref. So it would be in turn like from a financial perspective, it would be like an incentive expense for us, which can be a great idea actually. So this could be possible, and I don't see any restriction in terms of like doing it at the smart contract level. But then we would need to think about like how we want to reward those types of action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just laid down the tracks for the idea. I think it would make a lot of sense for us in the long run, but of course you can't make it like an expense or try to justify integrating such feature if it's not going to bring you users or revenue. So yeah, it's a compromise, but I think there's something that you could explore there and try to find a way in your economics to do it. It would make a lot of sense for us. But yeah, anyway, we'll have to integrate it due to the convenience of the dashboard itself.
Yeah, I also think that on your side, there might be a way to directly like provide a value proposition on top of those different actions. And I'm thinking about like, for example, bundle transactions, right? So if you provide like today, if you want to add liquidity, you need to provide both assets, of course. And sometimes you only have one, so you need to do a swap before that. But like Curve, for example, they have like Zap Swap. Trader Joe, they have ZapSwap, which is the ability for someone to like directly swap one token and provide liquidity with this token in the same transaction. So I think if projects manage to bundle transactions on top of Ref, then as a solution, there's a great value proposition, and you can charge for this value proposition, right? You can tell your users, well, if you delegate to me those actions, then basically, maybe to do that, I will take you like a $1 flat fee, for example, or something else. So I think that there is also a way for projects to simplify the flow in terms of user experience. And bundle transactions is a very hot topic on here, although it's a complex one because of the asynchronicity of Near, which means that you need to make sure that if one transaction fails, what do you do with the other leg of the transaction if this one has succeeded, right? So, but I think there is like quite a topic on that, and the ZapSwap is something I've wanted for Ref for like more than a year now, and it's on our roadmap actually. So there's a problem to solve here, and and I would be very interested if like projects can solve this problem.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I think we will have to get back on that same remark. But it's quite interesting, the possibility that opens up for us. I didn't know that. Of course, it's a hot topic on here, but it's currently unavailable, right? So, is there any developments or any light in the end of the tunnel regarding that same feature?
I'm telling you, if you do the ZapSwap, looking at what have been done on other markets, you will probably have 80% of the user flow for providing liquidity, because the ZapSwap is like something so cool. And no one, because the team is very focused on V2 development at the moment. The ZapSwap is not in the priority list. So it's open for any project to develop that on top of Ref.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Good to know.
This is beautiful. I love it. And it's also really cool to see, like, it was really coincidental that we talk about the referral program today and also congratulate the launch of Pulsar, but it really seems like there has been a lot of parallel thinking on the way that DeFi is moving forward. Miguel, I really like your point that we're going to see more and more of this separation between the front end for DeFi and the back end for DeFi. And I think Didier, the referral program, for the timing that it is made now, also reflects an understanding that, as we focus on usability, on accessibility, and also aggregating multi-chain sources under one interface, you're going to be outsourcing and inviting other teams to build using Ref rather than users coming directly to Ref when they can get all of that information in one interface on another platform. So this kind of model makes sense to encourage that and bring on more users through outsourced interfaces that are utilizing Ref. So that was super interesting to hear, and I really thank you guys for that back and forth. Yeah. Didier, did you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to add something on like the swap interface, because I think there are like so many innovations that could be done on that side. Today we have this very famous Uniswap like swap experience, but I think, for example, what I was thinking of yesterday was, imagine that you have like a token in and an amount in. So let's say you put like 100 near, and then display below you can see like all the other tokens you can get for those 100 near, for example. And then just next to that, you can basically do the swap. Or maybe you don't want to do the swap, but you want to pay a client, and the client only accept another token, right? So let's say you put 100 near, and you have like what you can get in Aurora, in USDT, in USDC, etc. But you can do the swap, but you can also send directly USDC, and in the same transaction you have the swap and the transfer, for example. So I think that they are just, it's crazy how innovative can be those swap user interface. I think it's only the beginning, because we've only like experienced this Uniswap kind of stuff, but you can also do a chat swap, right? Maybe you want to interact with a bot, maybe not, but let's say you want to, ask the bot, well, I want to sell 100 near. Then the bot responds, that's the best price. That's the best price we have. And then you just write down and the swap is executed. So that's another way, which is more like, OTC desk chats experience, but that's something maybe some users will, look for. So yeah, just wanted to give those two examples because that's what's coming to my mind.
Yeah, I think we're just scratching the surface on most of the features, to be honest. And I think there's a lot of inefficiencies on the swap side itself, even on Uniswap. I think there's a lot of things that should improve on the long run from the reports I've been reading, the NEV attacks and all that. I think there's a lot of inefficiencies yet. And in the future, definitely the solutions will be more and more perfection. But as of now, I can already see a few possibilities, at least for Pulsar, once we start building such approaches. Yeah.
Amazing. I really appreciate the animated conversation that we had, and I think there's a lot of room for collaboration between Ref.finance and Pulsar. So really looking forward to that develop in the future. Before we wrap things up, I'd love to give Miguel and Didier, both of you, a chance to do a call to action. Maybe it's your team is hiring and you'd like to say, if you're interested, come to us. Maybe you have a product launch, as you do, and you want to call the community to come try it out, or you have other community engagements, you have community platforms like Discord that you want people to join in. If there's any call to action to make, please take the chance now.
Yeah, so I can go ahead and say that not only mine, but our team DMs are open for any feedback or partnerships that protocols or people want to do. And to be honest, we just want this community to try it out. Go to pulsar.finance, add your near address, your Aurora address, bundle different wallets. If you have assets on Cosmos, go ahead and plug them in as well. You don't need to connect wallet. It's just copy paste your address into the dashboard. And yeah, have fun with it.
Awesome. Didier, go ahead.
Yeah, on Ref side, we've just made like some tests with a quiz chain, which is like a non-chain quiz solution on Near, and there's like a quiz test at the moment for Ref.finance. So if you have some time, guys, go to quiz chain and check out like the quiz, the Ref quiz, and the solution too. I think it opens like many cool potential because any project can do a quiz. We can also use those quiz to reward people. So just do the quiz and try out the solution. Otherwise, we have a concentrated liquidity that is coming in December. That's big, and it's coming on the 15th of December if everything is on track, which is the case at the moment. But if you want to have an appetite of concentrated liquidity, you can go to our testnet environment and do some stuff with concentrated liquidity, right? So I would encourage our users to first do the quiz and second try out the concentrated liquidity feature.
And Didier, if I'm a developer and I'm interested in the referral program, how can I learn more about this?
Yes, thank you. If you are interested in the Ref referral program, just reach out on our Discord or Telegram channel. You can also check our Ref.finance forum, and there's like a section for the Ref referral program. So just reach out to the team, and we are, onboarding, as I said, anyone in this Ref referral program that is building on top of us. It's a very inclusive approach. So just reach out to us.
I think it'd be a missed opportunity if we didn't shorten it to referral program instead of saying ref referral program.
That makes sense.
Well, I want to thank both Miguel and Didier for joining me today, and everyone in the audience for joining us. Have a great rest of the week and try out Pulsar. Take a look at the governance forum for the referral program, and we will see everyone next week.